Hello everyone, this is Shrike playing more at Demon Bluff. This is a free demo that you can check out with the link in the description if you want to play for yourself. We are going to play standard mode. It's been a while since we played. So I have to clear 7 villages. And the more times we do it, the higher ascension we get, the harder it gets. So we're on ascension 15 at this point. So we've played this game quite a lot. But it's always fun. So the gist is, it's basically a single-player social deduction game. So we've got our good characters who have different abilities, and they tell us different information, and they will not lie to us unless they are corrupted. In this case, there's no sources of corruption, so if they are truly good, then they will tell us the truth. There's a lycanthrope here, who is an outcast. He's more of a neutral character, but if I don't reveal him in a certain amount of time, he'll actually turn into an evil character, and then will lie to us. There's a puppeteer who converts one of our good little villagers into a puppet who is evil, but the puppet still tells the truth while the puppeteer lies while being evil. So there's all these different combinations. So we just reveal some cards, like number 1 here. It says the closest evil is counterclockwise. So if I want to reveal things that are not evil first, so I get information, I'm going to go this way. There's a fortune teller. Pick 2 characters, learn if any of them is evil. Well, we're just going to keep going. So there's a knight. There's no sources of corruption, and the knight cannot die. So we can test if this is a real knight. They are. So we can mark them as good. So now we have a question. I could try and YOLO and trust this fortune teller, who is mildly supported by the Enlightened, saying that they are not evil. However, if I do this, let's see. One of them is evil, so 4 is probably not evil, and therefore is more likely to be the lycanthrope. I would like them to not become evil. And now, if 5 or 6 is the lycanthrope, they would have turned to a werewolf and will be evil and have to kill them. So, oh boy. Between these 3, one of them is an outcast, minion, and villager. Well, I know this is good. If you are the lycanthrope, that's possible. You'd be telling us the truth, and then 5 would be the evil one. It is entirely possible. Evils are not adjacent to each other. They have to be adjacent to each other, so you're lying to us. I'm pretty confident 5 is evil at this point. 4 is probably the lycanthrope. And 6 says there's no corrupted characters, which is blatantly true. So everything is pointing to 5 being evil. Now, which of these 2 is the puppet, is the question. Puppet always tells the truth. I have no real way to know, actually, in this case. Okay, well, actually, let's think about it. If 4 was evil, then your statement would still be true, because it would still be puppet. So I'm just going to have to kill one of them and just... I think 4 is the lycanthrope, so I'm going to assume 6 who cannot become a puppet. And that 6 would have to be the puppet. Nice. Because he can only turn a villager into a puppet. He can't turn an outcast into... Actually, is a lycanthrope considered? No, he's not a villager. He disguises himself as a villager, but he is an outcast. So that narrowed it down from a 50-50 to a near 100%. And that is how this game works. And then we continue, and it gets more and more difficult with each village. So this time around, we've got Twin Minion and Witch. Now, the Witch means I can't reveal the last card unless I kill the Witch. And then I can. There's no sources of corruption. So, if they're lying, they're evil. 1 is evil. 2, 3, or 6. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Let's check 5 then. 2 evils adjacent to you. Possible. That would point to 6 and 4 being evil, which would also be supported by you potentially, because if 6 is evil, then 2 and 3 are not evil, assuming the Empress is telling us the truth. So let's check 2 and 3. I am good. Confessor always tells us if they are good, if they are. Otherwise, if they're evil or corrupted, they say I'm dizzy. So they're very, very safe to confirm. 3, Jester. Learn how many of them are evil. Well, we can confirm the lover's claim. And see if he says, there are 0 evils, huh? That seems statistically unlikely. So it might actually be 3 and 5 being evil. You're lying to us. The knight I can easily test. The knight is real. So she's lying to us. You are lying to us. I'm pretty confident. Oh, I can't check 6. So let's see. That's the twin minion. This is probably the witch. It is. And what was the last card? It was a lover. Okay. That was a true lover that actually tells the truth. Very good. We go next. Now. Things are going to get a little more complicated. So, Bombardier, you lose if you execute them. However, evils can pretend to be this as a way of encouraging you not to execute them. There's also the drunk, who is a good character and an outcast, but they always lie to us because they are corrupted. So, yeah. And they cannot be cured of that corruption. They throw a wrench into a lot of plans. They also pretend to be a villager, so we have to figure out who is the drunk. We've got the shaman, who just makes a second copy of a villager. And then we've got good old Chancellor. One villager becomes an outcast role. But, so if you see an outcast, he's likely next to them. Likely. And then for our villager roles, we got a smattering of stuff. All right, we'll just start revealing. Possibly a bombardier, I don't know. A knight. There's the only source of corruption is the drunk, and if I execute the drunk, it's fine, to be honest. Oh, hey, look, it's a Chancellor. That was easy. The knight is pretty easy to test when there's not very many sources of corruption. If the knight is corrupted, his ability doesn't work, and you just end up killing him, which is not great. Between 3, 5, 7, there's a villager, outcast, and minion. Both of these are minions, so looking for a shaman potentially. Shaman is 4 cards away from closest evil. That would point to 6 being the shaman, which doesn't line up with what you're saying. So 5 is looking pretty sus right now. Left side is more evil. That's not possible because 2, we have a confirmed evil character. And if the left side had an evil character, you would say it was equal sides. So I think he could be the drunk. He could also be evil. But if he was the drunk, then 4 would be most likely lying to us unless something is disguising as the bombardier. But I don't think that is disguised because the Chancellor always creates an outcast if they can. So I'm imagining they created the bombardier, probably. Chancellor is 4 cards away from closest evil. Okay, they're both saying it. So, although in reverse order, that is heavy support for 6 being evil. The judge. Let's see. They're lying. So 4 might be the drunk. Yeah. Okay. There you go. I didn't even need to use the fortune teller. All right, what do we got next? Chancellor and Shaman again. Well, we got the Rambler, who is interesting, and Doppelganger as our 2 potential outcasts. Shaman is 3 cards away from closest evil. Rambler. Well, Mr. Number 1, you look like you are not telling us the truth. If you were telling us the truth, you'd be told to shut up. Or, number 2 is also evil. In which case, I'm pretty sure 1's evil. Yeah, okay. Chancellor beside the outcast. No surprise. We can test the Jester pretty easily too. If he tells us to shut up, then he's telling the truth and he's good, but 1 card away from closest evil. Pointing to 5 being evil, potentially. Or it could be 3. It could also be 3. We'll check. Okay, Fortune Teller, Jester, Architect. Both sides are equally evil, maybe. That points more to like 5 being evil. Both of them are kind of suggesting that. 2 cards away from closest evil, also pointing to 5 being evil. 1 card away from closest evil, that is blatantly true. There's no sources of corruption, still, surprisingly. Well, 5, learn if any of them are evil. Well, let's see, you and you. No evil there. The guaranteed evil character right there, huh? Well, there you go. Not too bad, actually. Oh, here we go. Now we have lots of corruption potential. We got Puka, who corrupts adjacent villagers, if there are any beside her. Makes them lie. And then we got the Plague Doctor, who one good villager is corrupted. There's always going to be at least one, so somebody's corrupted. And then I can use his ability to remove that corruption. And if I do remove the corruption correctly, then I also get told who's an evil character. So that's cool. There's also the potential of a doppelganger. And the Chancellor again. Slayer. Plague Doctor. Now they can pretend to be the Plague Doctor. I've got 2 Slayers. One of them could be the doppelganger. Could also be somebody evil hiding. Right side's more evil. Maybe. Maybe not. Right side's more evil. Okay. Knight. There are sources of corruption. I don't have a reason to assume they are corrupted yet, but I could test the Plague Doctor with them. 5 was afflicted by an evil. That would imply Puka or Chancellor. Chancellor could probably make a doppelganger. Probably. Okay, we'll think about it. Judge. Another judge. Well, okay, we've got 3 pairs here. And only 1 doppelganger, although Shaman can create another copy. So actually, when you're saying that 5 is afflicted by evil, that's probably the Shaman. Could be the Shaman, could be Puka, I don't know. There's a lot of sources of corruption, so... Oh, boy. You're saying 9 is good. And you're saying that 5 is afflicted by an evil. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of possibilities in this case. A lot of possibilities. I do have 2 people saying the right side's more evil. But, for instance, if 5 was Puka and corrupted 4, they would both lie to say that right side's more evil. And in fact, left side would be more evil. Would point to one of these probably being evil. Now, the Chancellor is probably one of these Slayers, if I had to guess. I could point the Slayers at each other to attack each other. Now, you know what? Couldn't kill. Couldn't kill. That just means they could be evil or corrupted. If lies cannot kill my target. Could be 4 being evil. No, because it'll be more likely. Testing the Knight doesn't give us a whole lot of information directly. Let's see if you're lying. You say they're lying. What about you? Saying the truth. Okay, one of these is not telling us the truth. And that could be corruption. That could be lying. There's a lot of possibilities here. Who do I think is Puka is the main one that we want to resolve? I am suspecting these guys are probably evil or corrupted. The problem is, where the hell is the Chancellor? He's probably one of these Slayers, if I had to guess. Who do I think? You know what? This is a higher likelihood of being corrupted than anything else. They're not corrupted. I mean, it's entirely possible. Like Puka's like one of these is Puka, one is Chancellor. And then these would be telling the truth, but then if Puka would have to be 1 in that case. And then this would be the Shaman. And oof. Might have to just start guessing here a little bit just to speed things up. Give us some information. So you're saying 1 is lying. If you are evil, then 1 is telling the truth. And he was corrupted. In some way. Is that true? He's a real judge. Then 7's lying to it. He was also corrupted. Okay, they were all over here. Yep, both of them were evil. Look at that. But it wasn't Puka and the Chancellor. It was the Shaman Chancellor. Same thing, more or less. He was corrupted to lie about this being visited. You know, there was more evidence pointing toward... I really thought these were in cahoots. That's why I thought. Can't believe both of these. He got corrupted by the Plague Doctor. That's so unlucky. That's incredibly unlucky. Alright. Guess we can try again. We go again. Puka and Chancellor. And Plague Doctor. So it's a very similar setup. Okay, there's a Rambler here and here. One of the two. Puka's one card away from closest evil. That would be convenient if that's true. I don't know if it's true. There's the Rambler. There's the supposed Plague Doctor. Puka's 3 cards away from closest evil. Well, here's the thing. We know the Chancellor is going to be beside one of the outcasts. There can only be up to 2 outcasts. This is pointing to 6 being the Chancellor. Most likely. Oh, there's another one here. Okay, one of these outcasts is not who they say they are. I hope it's not the Bombardier. Otherwise, I need to know if 2 is telling the truth. I think ideally. Because if that's true, then I find one evil, I find both evils. But right now, there's a So one of the outcasts is not who they say they are. If it's a Bombardier, that's a problem. A serious problem. I'm pretty sure the Rambler's real. Oh, well, actually, here's the thing. It could be Rambler evil and one evil. Because if he lies, say he is, I don't know, I guess it would have to be the Chancellor. Disguise. One villager becomes an outcast. I can disguise. It's just a different role. Doesn't have to. Yeah. So in theory, this could be the Chancellor beside the Plague Doctor. And one is Puka, who would have corrupted them, and then that wouldn't have been true. So never mind. That doesn't seem like it's likely. I'm inclined to believe the Rambler's real. And that would imply one is also good. Now, the Plague Doctor easily could be evil. Could be the Chancellor beside the real Rambler. And then, if that were the case, where would Puka be? Puka could be corrupting basically anybody. Don't think 2 is Puka, because if that were the case, she'd be lying, wouldn't be told to shut up. Could be 3, it could be 5, it could be 6, who knows? Let's see what 3 has to say about this, and this, since I don't think number 2 is actually evil. There are 3 evils. I don't think that's the case, my dude. I think you're probably the Chancellor. No, you're just corrupted. Oh. Oh, I don't know if that was... I should have tested the Plague Doctor. Oh, you can do it on a dead body? It's corrupted and 8 is evil. He could be lying to us. Killing the Rambler wouldn't kill us. If this is true, it is true. That means he was lying. That means 1 is lying. Which means 2 is actually Puka, I think. Who corrupted 3 and 1. But then that doesn't make 6 being true. You'd only be 2 spaces away. I can use the Slayer to test this theory. Okay. Okay. Because if they weren't evil, the Slayer wouldn't kill them. So interestingly, Puka is 3 cards away from closest evil. But like, there's clearly It's not 3 apart. Oh, he's corrupted. So he got corrupted by the Plague Doctor. They got corrupted. Okay. See how hard this game can be sometimes? Oh, we got Puka and Chancellor again. And Plague Doctor again. And Bombardier again. Okay. The RNG seed is making this difficult for us right now. I guess we had some early easy villages. There's only one pair of evil. That imply that they're beside each other again. Or you're lying because you're beside an outcast, which is... These are highly likely to be evil. To be the Chancellor. And therefore lying to us. I am dizzy. You're evil or corrupted. Well... That means they could be in combination with each other. No, they can't. Because there's no other neutral. 8 is a real hunter. 1 away from closest evil. Plague Doctor. Everybody's suspicious. Okay. So. I got the Judge and the Plague Doctor as our possibilities here. I could see if 5 is corrupted very easily. If they end up being corrupted, then you're telling the truth. And 6 would probably be Puka, or the Plague Doctor got them. It would depend if 8 was a real hunter or not. The fact that the neutrals, the outcasts, are spread out like that means these are the only 2 that cannot be the Chancellor. That doesn't narrow things down very much. Let's see if the Confessor is corrupted. They are. I'm saying 5 is, or 6 is evil. Which means 6 and 8 would be in cahoots with each other. What I can do is get the Judge here saying the truth. So I am inclined to believe you, you, and you. And you're corrupted because of something. And that 8 and 6 are probably evil. However... Oh, yeah. 6 is probably Puka, who corrupted 5. 3 is probably corrupted from the Plague Doctor. And that counts for everything. Oh, there's Puka. An 8. It's the Chancellor, and you are corrupted. Hell yeah. Feels good, man. Okay, we got the Witch, so we can't reveal the last card. Puppeteer. Poisoner, so there is 1 source of corruption. He just said, unlike Puka, he only corrupts 1 person beside him. And then we can hide 1 outcast. So I don't know what the outcast is in the deck. I know it is not a lycanthrope because there's no day-night cycle. But other than that, I don't know. You were a poet, were you? No, you were not. No. No. I'm 4 cards away from the corrupted character. That implies 1 is evil and not corrupted, and I should just kill them. But we'll continue anyways. Judge. 5 cards away from closest evil. The fuck? That's not possible, my dude. We have way too many evils for that to be true. You are suspicious, at the very least, and you are very suspicious. 3 was afflicted by an evil. That would imply that there is a poisoner. Probably poisoned him. 2 cards away from closest evil. Well, that's looking like 4 is probably evil. A lot of things are pointing to this. There's a knight who may possibly be corrupted, but probably not. I could test them if I need to. 2 pairs of evil. Maybe. The right side's more evil. Maybe. It's looking likely. 11 is a real Bombardier. I can't reveal it, so... maybe, maybe not. Okay. You looking very suspicious, my friend. I'm assuming this is the poisoner. Also, we never revealed any other bakers, so this baker just straight up lied. Is not a real baker. I know they're not a real baker, and I can reveal this card now. Very good. And then, or I think they're just The puppeteer, yeah. That means the puppet could be 5 or 3. Actually, I thought they would be the poisoner. But they weren't. This is implying that 3 is the puppet. You're saying that 6 or 9 is corrupted. It's looking like both of them are telling the truth, to be honest. So far, there's at least 3 evils on the right-hand side. There's no way we're going to have enough evils for this not to be true. There are 2 pairs of evil. Would imply... Okay, if all 4 evils over here, then it would be 1 pair, 2 pairs, 3 pairs. Not 2. So she's looking a little suspicious. She could be corrupted by, like, 7 being the poisoner, for instance. But that doesn't line up with 6 could also be, but they seem like they're telling the truth unless 5 is the puppet. If 5 is the puppet, he'd still be telling the truth. So who would have visited 3 if 5 is telling us the truth as an evil puppet? That doesn't figure out. So I think 6 is probably is corrupted by the poisoner. And I think 7 is probably the poisoner. No, he's corrupted. Oh, that costs us all my HP because, yikes, deals an additional 4 damage. Well, I think you're telling the truth. I think it's 3 as a puppet, 8 as Ba? Or the poisoner, actually, sorry, the poisoner. Okay, there's the poisoner who corrupted this. Well, I know you're telling the truth, so let's see what he says. He's telling the truth. That doesn't tell me if he's a puppet or not, unfortunately. Or from the corrupted character. You're not far away from the corrupted character because there's only 1 corrupted character. There's no other source of corrupted characters. That's Ba. Now, which of these is the puppet? Okay, I think you're telling the truth because you cannot be corrupted. I don't think you can be evil in this case. Oh, actually, let's look at all 3 options of each of these 3 that could be evil. Number 6, if you are the evil one. Wait, there's no other. That's only the puppet. You can't be, and that means 5 can't be evil. It has to be 3. Because I know the puppet has to be beside the puppeteer, which means 3 or 5. 6 is saying that he's 2 away from the closest evil, which means 5 can't be evil, because if 5 was, that would be 1 away, and make 6 telling us not the truth. But 6 has to tell the truth, because he cannot be corrupted, because there's no other source of corruption, and he can't be evil, because he can't be the puppet, because he's not beside the puppeteer. Therefore, number 3 is the only possibility of being evil, and therefore we win. If you did enjoy this and you want to play this for yourself, there's a link in the description. And leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I will see you guys next time. I don't know why I delayed, but, you know, take it. See ya.